Look at where you actually are right now. 5 years into a job you took as a stopgap. 2 guys you started with sit above you, and you already have a story ready for why that happened. There is a drawer somewhere in your place holding the leftovers of 4 things you started. The certification, the side thing, the notebook where a plan lived for 11 days, none of it blew up, none of it failed loud enough for anyone to notice. It just went quiet, and you went quiet with it. And now you are standing on a Thursday afternoon doing math about how many years you have left to fix this. That is the consequence. Let me walk you back to where it came from, because it did not come from where you think. You never quit anything. That is what makes this so hard to see. Quitting is loud. Quitting has a day, a decision, and something you tell people. What happened to you was much smaller than that. You hit the stretch where the work stops paying you back. You put the hours in and nothing came out the other side. No sign, no number moving, nobody noticing. You did it again the following week and it was the same. And somewhere in there, without one single moment you could point to, you started doing it a little less. Then you skipped a day. Then the skip stopped costing you anything because nothing was arriving anyway. That is not a decision. That is a fade. And a fade is what has taken almost everything you have lost so far. I want to give that thing a name, because you have been living inside it without one. Call it the flat stretch. Every real thing has one. It is the distance between the work going in and the results showing up, and it runs longer than anyone warns you. On the flat stretch, you get no feedback at all, and here's the part nobody explains. Your head does not score effort. It scores evidence. It runs a tally of what you can actually see. And when nothing lands on that tally, the effort starts to feel like a fool's errand. Not because you are weak, because a mind getting nothing back cannot tell the difference between work that is failing and work that has not arrived yet. So it does the reasonable thing. It stops paying for something it believes is broken. You did not lose your discipline in that job. You lost your evidence, and the discipline walked out behind it. Hear this before we go anywhere near what to do about it. This is not a defect you carry, and other men do not. Every man who ever built anything crossed that same flat stretch, and most of them felt exactly what you felt standing in the middle of it. Stupid. Behind. Like the whole thing was a bad bet placed by a younger version of himself. The difference between those men and you is not talent, and it is not some rare wiring. Somebody told them the flat part was normal, so when it hit, they did not read it as a verdict on who they are. You read it as a verdict. That is the entire gap, and you are not a quitter. A man who quits does not keep a drawer full of starts. A drawer full of starts is proof that you kept trying to move. You just kept hitting the same wall at the same place, alone, with no name for what you were hitting. The economy did not shrink your effort. Your boss did not take the notebook out of your hands. The market, the timing, the guy who got promoted because he golfs with the right people, none of that was holding the pen on the night you decided it was not worth doing today. You were. And I know that lands heavy, so take the second half of it too. That is the only good news available in this whole situation. If the thing stopping you lived out there, you would be stuck permanently, and this would be a waste of your afternoon. It lives in here, which means you can reach it. Conditions do not decide a life. Actions do. Broke is not a permanent address. Stuck at 38 is not a sentence. A man who has been fading for 5 years is not a fixed type of human being. He is a man running a pattern, and a pattern is something you can catch in the act. Pick one place to catch it. Just one. The next time the work hands you nothing back, the week nobody responds, the month the number refuses to move, stop before you decide anything and say what you are feeling out loud. Plain words. I feel like an idiot for still doing this. I feel like I am wasting my life on this. Say it to the ceiling or say it in the truck. That is the whole move. It costs nothing and nobody has to know. Because that feeling is what makes the decision for you every time you leave it unnamed. Unnamed. It does not feel like a feeling at all. It feels like the plain truth about your life. Named, it drops back into what it actually is, which is a report filed by a tired man at the end of a hard day. A report is something you get to answer. Truth is something you obey. Do that 10 times and something shifts that you will not notice for a while. You stop confusing a bad stretch with a bad direction. The gap between the fade starting and you catching it gets shorter. A month, then a week, then the same evening it starts. That is what building actually looks like from the inside, not a breakthrough. A man who turns around faster than he used to, and you will fade again. I want to be straight with you about that. Because the next time you drift for 2 weeks, you are going to want to call this whole thing a failure and start over from scratch somewhere down the road. Do not. Drifting is not the end of the run. Drifting is part of the run. The only thing that has ever counted is how fast you come back. You have been doing this alone, with nobody around to tell you the flat part was normal. Now you have somebody. Come back tomorrow. If this hits you, subscribe and ride with us daily. No comfort, just discipline.
Subscribe. Tomorrow, you drive stronger.